Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We are talking about the Nancy Guthrie case out of Pima County, Arizona, and the guy who made the ransom call to the Guthrie family was in court today, and we're going to learn about that and a whole lot more. A lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face. They called me too loud, too much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong. Every scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my pain, but I'll rise again. Just watch me stand. I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my curves, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Turn it up, let the whole sky know. Clutch crews rolling in with that firework glow. Red on the left, blue on the right. Stars in the air and we're burning bright. Got the flags flying high, got the music loud. Everybody stand up, we're a freedom crowd. From the mountain roads to the city lights, we came to celebrate America tonight. This ain't just a party, this is pride in motion. Big spark energy, coast to coast emotion. Hands to the sky, hearts wide open. Light that fuse, now the night's exploding. Boom goes the sky, let the whole world hear it. We got that 4th of July spirit. Raise it up, don't let it fall. Tonight we're standing proud and tall. We're fire in the dark, we're stars in the night. We're red, with white, blue, and shining bright. Let freedom sing, let the sparks fly. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July. We're alive tonight, under freedom lights. Let the whole sky shine. talking, the speakers shaking, cold drinks sweating in the whole block waking, kids running wild with the glow sticks on, grandma clapping while they play our song. Small town heroes, big dream believers, hard work hearts and Friday night dreamers, different roads but the same heartbeat, everybody moving to the freedom beat. We remember the ones who gave their all, the bravest stood when they heard the call. So tonight when the fireworks climb, we light up the sky and we honor their time. Boom goes the sky, let the whole world hear it. We got that 4th of July spirit. Raise it up, don't let it fall. Tonight we're standing proud and tall. We're fire in the dark, we're stars in the night. We're red, white, blue, and shining bright. Let freedom sing, let the sparks fly. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July.
Thank you, Miss Dolores.
Let the whole sky shine. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July. Clap your hands, stomp your feet, feel that thunder in the street. Wave that flag, raise that flame, everybody shout the name. Clutch crew, louder now, let freedom shake the ground. Clutch crew, we won't hide, we came to light the night. Red, white, boom, light up the room. Red, white, boom, freedom's in the tune. Red, white, boom, stars over you.
Happy Canada
Red,
Day.
white, boom, clutch crew coming through. We're fire in the dark, we're stars in the night. We're red, white, blue, and shining bright. Let freedom sing, let the sparks fly. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July. We're fire in the dark, we're stars in the night. We're red, white, blue, and shining bright. Let freedom sing, let the sparks fly. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July.
Thank you, Daryl. Happy birthday.
We're alive tonight.
Thank you, Risa. God bless America. Amen.
Let the whole sky shine. We're coming in clutch on the 4th of July. Turn it up, turn it up. Let the whole sky know. Clutch crews rolling in with that firework glow. Red, white, blue, we're burning bright. Yeah, we came to light it up tonight.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. I know your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is July 2nd, 2026. It is currently 9:40 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Bonjour. Hello, my third live of the day. For all the veterans, amen. Amen. Yes, and happy Canada Day yesterday to my fellow Canadians, our neighbors to the north. Much love to each and every one of you. All right, guys, tonight we're talking about we're going to be talking about Derek and the Nancy Guthrie case and a lot more that's going on here. Pam, thank you so much for your support, my dear. Thank you guys for the gifts. I appreciate you. Mods, please make sure I thank them at the very end of this live stream. I don't want them to think, I just can't see it on my end. Chemistry Queen, thank you so much. Welcome to the Pearl family. Appreciate you, my friend. Dolores, love you too, Mama. Appreciate you very much. And General, happy birthday. Happy birthday, General. Good to see you, my dear. Risa, God bless America. Thank you. Amen. Appreciate you, my friend. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being a member. And Pam, thank you so much. Appreciate you, babe. So Derek Kella, he got off pretty easy. He got off pretty easy today. If you guys don't know, he got off with 5 years of probation. And gonna play what we know. He pled guilty, which is about the only way you can plead when the FBI is up against you. I mean, come on now. Let's be real. Here we go.
Derek Kayea faces charges of transmitting a demand for ransom with intent to abuse, threaten, or harass a person. He
Thank
pleaded
you,
guilty and
GT.
will
Love you,
receive 10
baby.
years
Appreciate you.
probation
Good
when
to see you.
sentenced. The FBI says Kayea texted 2 of Guthrie's family members shortly
you,
after
love.
her disappearance in February. He also made a
That's it.
9-second phone call to a family member. His sentencing is set for September 10.
Well, check your pantry before your next snack break. The FDA has upgraded a nationwide recall of nearly 700,000 bags.
Okay, I thought it was longer than that. Thank you so much, GT. Appreciate you very much. Really do appreciate you, love. Good to see you. And General Sweet Justin, can you cover sometimes the 6? Yeah, if you guys want me to cover that, I found in one room, it's really sad and it's really sad. Really sad. Yeah, I can work on that. I sure can. Absolutely. With that sentence, I wonder if he gave up. Maybe. Oh my God, hold on. I want to show you guys something real quick, kind of unrelated to the Nancy Guthrie case, but help locate a mom and her 18-month-old child. A woman and her 18-month-old baby have went missing for several weeks, and their family is deeply concerned for their safety. Pinellas County, Florida, Orlando, Florida, Atlanta, Georgia, and Los Angeles, California is places that they have spent time in. Bless their hearts. Does it give their name? Doesn't give a name. Hold on a second. Ooh, I thought I exited out. Okay, I'll look into that as well. God, so many missing people. It's crazy. All right, let me show you this right here about what happened with Derek today. Okay. Guilty plea shakes up the Nancy Guthrie investigation. They say, let me pop this up, Fox 10. And we're going to get to a bunch of, no, I'm not going to play that. That's too long. Okay, let me read you this one right here before we get into the other stuff. Derek Kayea of Hawthorne, California, pleaded guilty on 2 counts of harassment using a telecommunication device, officials say. Tucson, Arizona, a Southern California man pleaded guilty Thursday in federal court in the Tucson to harassing the family of Nancy Guthrie, according to the federal documents. Derek Kayea, 42, of Hawthorne, California, pleaded guilty in 2 counts of harassment using a telecommunication device during a hearing before U.S. District Judge John C. Hinderaker. Sorry. Court records show Kayea admitted that on February 4th, he called and sent text messages to Nancy Guthrie's family regarding a Bitcoin transfer. Prosecutors said Kayea knew an earlier ransom demand had been made and acknowledged that his message were intended to harass the family while seeking information about the disappearance investigation. Kayea is scheduled to be sentenced on September 10th, 2026. When was this? This is today. Okay. The charge carries a maximum penalty of for 2 years in prison and $250,000 fine, or both, along with up to 1 year of supervised release. The FBI Tucson office is investigating the case. Prosecutors with the U.S. Attorney Office for the District of Arizona are handling the prosecution. I thought he got off with just 5 months or 5 years of probation. Wonder if he ratted. Yeah, he has to go to rehab first. I do know that. He has to go to rehab first. Thank you so much, Miss Carol. Appreciate you, darling. Thank you for gifting the pearl necklace. Much love to you. You received that. Make sure you give our Carol a big old thank you. Thank you, baby. Good to see you. Appreciate you very much. Okay, let's get to a couple things that I want to show you. Interview Room had a very good live last night. I got some commentary on that, but I want to go to Brian because we're going to talk about Porch Guy I might have to take it off of the picture off for a minute because I don't want to show the porch guy with the pew-pew, if you know what I mean. We're going to go to Brian Inton Investigates, our friend Mr. Brian, and make sure, I'm sure you guys are all subbed up to our friend Brian. Make sure you're subbed up to him. Works very, very hard. Carol, thank you so much for 23 months, 1 month from the 2-year mark. How you doing, girl? How you doing? Thank you so much. Appreciate you, babe. Oh, thank you. For gifting 5 pearl necklaces. Really, really do appreciate that, General. Thank you so much. If you received one of those, make sure you give our General a big, big old thank you. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Good to see you and very, very supportive. I appreciate your kindness. Well, since he treated positive, think judge wants him to go to rehab, then back for clarity in September. Maybe. Yeah, he's got a lot of subscribers, Brian does. So link is provided in the description if you're not subbed up to Brian. I want to very interesting things because we're going to talk about porch guy, and I had some thoughts on this from this angle because there's so many different angles to this story, and you just don't know what you really don't know what to believe anymore with this case. You just really have no idea anymore. You know, I still go back to Derek. I think it's very interesting that these notes came out right before he goes to court. Oh, yeah. Listen, when my other grandmother died, we sent my uncle to rehab, and we had to write them a very big check for rehab. And well, there's detox and then there's rehab. They went to detox first and then he went to rehab. So $1,000 a day, that's cheap. He will need long-term treatment if he thinks he's going to be sick. It's a daily struggle. Yeah, daily struggle, especially in the beginning. I mean, he admitted on February 4th, he called and texted Nancy's family about a Bitcoin transfer. Yeah. Yep. Sure did. All right, guys. Let's get it started. That's sad to me. People can't afford to get sober. It's really sad, Ginger. And it's really sad because, listen, September 23rd, I will be clean 12 years. And like, if you don't have support, you're not going, like, it's really rare for you to just get clean. It really is. So, you know, it's like the ones that, you know, go to the rehabs, like that the state may pick up or something like that. They're really not that good. They're really not that good. And it's just like it's just like a rotation of people. You know what I mean? What's interesting is he never gave a Bitcoin address to send when he texted. That's a good point, Giggle. That's a very good point. I mean, you would think this guy, after scamming LA, when he did that other scam, like, you're going to get caught, dude. Well, he's scheduled to be sentenced on September 10th, and the charges carry a maximum 2 years in prison. Yeah, and $250,000 fine, but I think we're going to try to plead for probation. Oh, he's going to plead. Yeah, I think they said like 5 years of probation or something. He texted as though it had already been discussed. It's still weird to me. You know, we don't know what the FBI knows. We really don't. I think he's going to get on probation only, probably, I would say. Here we go.
There is a lot that I want to get to in this episode involved in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. There's kind of been a lot of developments and moving pieces the last week. First of all, I told you guys yesterday, if you caught yesterday's episode, that I've just been intrigued by this idea that someone involved in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance, or someone who knows something, could come forward, could get a lawyer, get the help of a lawyer, come forward and get some kind of immunity.
Yeah. Why? Okay. Like this person, for instance, that is speaking to TMZ. They keep emailing the hell out of Harvey. And they say they have nothing to do with it. Why don't they get an attorney and say, I want immunity. I'll tell you what I tell you. And as long as you give me immunity, I'll spill the beans on the people. You could get $1.2 million and have immunity. Like, if they don't have anything, I believe they do. But if they don't have anything, why not go ahead and say it? And so many people attack the family over this buffoon. Which buffoon? Which buffoon? That's exactly what I meant. Scotia, it's a self-diagnosing disease, and until they do that, make a decision, they will not work. Yeah.
It's something that criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos first brought up.
That's
where I first sort of heard that this was a possibility. And I've just been so interested in it. And I told you guys yesterday in the episode that I was going to get Mark to come on and explain. Well, he is here for this episode.
Did my sound go out or did his? 1 second.
Okay.
And I want to ask him exactly how this would work, and he's going to explain it to us in a minute. And I think it's important because like, maybe this is a way that they could actually solve the Nancy Guthrie case. If they could work something out where someone who knows something, who is not the main suspect but is maybe somehow involved, could feel comfortable coming forward and giving that information and knowing that they wouldn't face serious charges. So Mark is going to be here in a minute to help us understand how that would actually work. And apparently this is done. This has been done before, and it could be done again. So Mark will explain it to us. But first, let me talk about where things stand right now with the Nancy Guthrie notes, because there have been some new developments. The FBI is now saying on the record, not through a source, but now an official statement has come out that says that the ransom demands may be potentially legitimate. May be potentially legitimate is what the FBI is officially saying now. They're also saying that this...
It would be, see, the FBI doesn't come out and say anything, but it would be nice to know, like, just tell us if these ransom letters are legitimate or not with TMZ. I personally believe them. I think you would have to be really, I mean, which, you know, if Derek did this on his own, you got to be real stupid to do something like that. Because every time you send an email, that is another charge. It's another charge. And this guy's like emailed Harvey like 12, 13, 14, 15 times. I do think that they know 1,000%. Yeah. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I think they know. Okay. So they know that, remember what they said. They said recently, Sheriff Nonads, he said the FBI has arrested or prosecuted several of the fake ones. The fake ones, right? But the ones that Harvey are talking about, there's not been any arrest on these. And they're saying they may be legitimate. why are y'all able to find out all of the others, but you're not able to find out this one? So I think they're letting Harvey speak to him and all that, and they're just waiting to get some more information. I can't decide on who's right. It's confusing. It's been asked backwards. It has really been asked backwards. They know who it is. I agree. I absolutely agree. They knew who it is.
Is being investigated as a kidnapping-for-ransom case, which I don't know that I remember. I mean, obviously, we've all assumed that it's being investigated as a kidnapping-for-ransom case, but I don't know that I remember them coming out and saying that in black and white. And they are now saying kidnapping-for-ransom case. So essentially, they're saying that the Reuters report, remember that one from yesterday that sourced an anonymous FBI official saying that they believe the FBI notes, the ransom notes are fake. This new FBI statement is essentially...
Wait, Goose, did he do another one today? Did he do another one today, or was there... Or is that the one yesterday? I showed one yesterday. It was like a radio interview or something. Hey, Lolo. Yeah, he said a couple's been arrested. Thank you, Wendy.
Saying that information is wrong. Let me read you the full statement just so you can see exactly what they said. It says, the FBI and its task force partners have received several ransom notes over the course of this investigation. Some have been deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may potentially be legitimate and are still being investigated as such. This case continues to be investigated as a kidnapping-for-ransom case. The FBI has and will continue to offer all assistance possible in the investigation. However, local authorities remain the lead. So if this statement is totally true, then the notes remain in play right now. The notes are still being considered.
So, Ginger, do you not believe the ransom or the letters with TMZ? Thank you for hitting the like button, my dear. Hey, Patty, good to see you, babe. But give it to Harvey. He made the FBI speak up. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, after Reuters put out that this was fake. By the way, I have not checked on Reuters today. I've wondered how they've handled this. The case has broke my brain. I know, Brandy. I know, girl. Trust.
As legit by the FBI. And the notes that I'm talking about, let me just be clear, because I know there's been a lot of notes floating around. The notes are the first two notes that went to the local TV station. The initial ransom note asking for money that said, "Hello, Savannah, we have your mother, Nancy." Remember that one? And then also the second note that said she died and that she was buried with nature. And then there's also the TMZ notes.
No.
Which, remember, those are the ones with the person who's saying, "Oh, we know who did it, and we have, images of them on a cell phone."
Interesting.
Those, in my opinion, seem less legit. From what I've been told, it's those first two notes that went to the local TV station.
My people says what's confusing is the feds have jurisdiction over kidnappings. That is true, but they keep saying Pima County is in charge. So Pima County is in charge of the case. They do have jurisdiction over, like interstate travel and that kind of thing. Hey, Kels, good to see you, babe. And they usually handle the ransom letters, things like that. But you are right. There is some confusing things because Sheriff Doofy will say, well, refer to the FBI. The FBI will say, refer to Sheriff Doofy. Hey, Joanne, good to see you. Crazy, good to see you. Shouty, Ginger. Just texted it to you. Okay, thank you, Goose. Let me look at that.
That are the ones that they're really considering. And even Savannah Guthrie has said in an interview that she seems to think those are real. The first two notes, the ones that were sent to the local TV station. Keep in mind, though, and if you guys watch my show regularly.
Okay, we're going to come back to this in just 1 second. I want to see what this says. Hey, Andrea, good to see you, my dear. Thank you for working so hard. Thank you so much, babe. We love Nashville. I love Nashville. One of my favorite cities. Love Nashville. Good to see you, Andrea. Hopefully you and yours are well, my friend. Really, really do appreciate you very much. Love your little poochie poo. Okay, we're going to go to Sheriff Nonads here because I have not seen this. I'm surprised I missed it. Exclusive Sheriff Nonads. Let's see what this buffoon has to say.
Here. We already kind of touched on this, but I've got to ask, is there anything at all new? Is there any movement or action right now in the case?
Well, there's always a lot going on with this case. Every day, our teams meet with the FBI. They're assigned to that task force. It's a task force of probably about 10 to 15 of our teams, and the FBI has dedicated workforces to it. But it's about.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think he's the world's or the country's worst sheriff.
Sitting down at the table and talking, what do we have working today? And a lot of times it's maybe working with labs across the country on DNA.
Mohawk's got a credible memory.
Maybe Google or somebody on our videos and what we can do with that. It could be working on a number of pieces. I think there's been a lot of talk about ransom notes. We're looking into that, and those are notes that we've been pretty consistent. You know, you divvy up the work, right? We took the DNA, we gave the ransom notes to the FBI.
Okay.
They look
So
at those.
most of you
every day come to the table and share the information and try to come up with some ideas what else we can do to get things going. But it's constant. This is every single day. This isn't, well, we don't have anything to do. No. And on top of all that, and that's where you all play a big role.
You know what I really want these reporters to ask Nonads who get access to him, because a lot of reporters don't get access to him. I want them to ask, is Luke Daly and Carlos and them, are they still suspects? Why is nobody talking about these guys that broke down their fucking door? Like, let's go. Like, tell me, because the last interview he spoke about them, he said they were, what was the word he used? Persons of interest, and they would be until whatever. But right, we need to clear this up. Like, it's time to clear this up. Like, because this is the thing. If you can't clear them up 6 months later, nearly, like, if there's no suspicion on them, they deserve to get the suspicion off of them. But I want to know. I want to know about that. Come on, Nanos, answer the question. You can't hear me, Wild? Papa, can you hear me? You should be able to hear me. It might be your audio. Crazy Buck, 15 months. Thank you so much, Sugar. Good to see you. Appreciate you very much. Numbnuts should just step down from law enforcement and turn in his badge. Oh my God, he needs to go. Stat, girl. Yes. And thank you so much for 15 months, girl. How you doing? Thank you so much. Appreciate you very, very much for continued support, my dear. He interviews there because they don't ask him hard questions. And you know what I really appreciate is Chris and Karen speaking about this, because if you're a local reporter, you're not going to ask him the hard questions because they're your sources for other stories. When this story is long and over with, they're going to be working and they're going to need information on other stories. And there's this, symbiotic relationship.
Still need tips. We still want those non-emergency line, our 351-4900 or FBI tip line, because every piece of information that's out there could prove vital. You don't know all the things we know, and we still need to know what you know, because there's something out there that we don't know. We think somebody knows something, so call us with whatever tip you
We think somebody knows something? Come on now.
might have. It really is. I can't stress this enough. Every piece of evidence, every single tip we have.
Yeah, exactly. Local reporters seem to not get arrested, and actually, Mohawk, allegedly, they knew that YouTubers were going to be arrested before they were even arrested, allegedly. Now, and I'll be honest with you, I did not like that one reporter. I don't know, she was the one standing out on the road, out in front of Nancy's house, speaking about people standing out in front of Nancy's house, and Alex and them were arrested. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. Thankfully, they've dropped the charges. But like, girl, you're standing out there. Come on now.
Yeah. They are worked, they are looked at very seriously,
Tricia,
and nothing is dismissed. So don't think this is too small or this was too long ago. Call us.
Are you still getting quite a few tips?
You know, as you would expect, they have drastically gone down. I mean, the first few days we were just inundated with them, which helps. Now we have to catalog them, prioritize them, look through them. We still get tips day to day, but not the volume we were, but they're still coming. And we would never discourage that. Continue with that.
What kind of forensic evidence is still in the lab at this point?
Tell us.
We've talked a lot about DNA, and I can't get into it real specific, but we have a lot of DNA that we're still working with.
Now, again, this is Nonad speaking. He says they have a lot of DNA. What's a lot of DNA? Well, I would suspect that they have a hair, right? We know that they have a hair. They probably did a lot of different test samples in Nancy's house. I bet you they did a DNA sample on Luke and probably others as well. He is literally making stuff up as it goes, in my opinion. Would surprise me.
Working with the labs, and the labs are, you know, they've been incredible.
Well, there shouldn't be multiple labs. You should have sent it to Quantico with the private plane that FBI Director Kash Patel flew out to you dummy.
It's not just our lab and FBI lab. These are labs across the country, and they understand way better than the sheriff DNA and concepts and new.
Good point. 5 months later, and we're still cataloging tips, so info could just be sitting there catching mold. Yep. And that's what they do. They can have a bunch of tips, and you know, they categorize them, and then they go through them one by one. But you would think that, you know, you'd be caught up nearly half a year later now.
New technology that's coming or that exists and says, hey, you know, we have this DNA, but it's overlapped by 4 other people. Maybe I touch this pad and 3 of us touch that pad. We get DNA, but there's
Nanos, you haven't touched a pad since 1976.
4 that you got to separate. And it's that kind of conversation of from one lab to the other. How did you guys deal with this? How would you handle that? And then of course you've got genealogy, and those have a different set of rules, if you will, science behind it to say how they can work with all of that. So it's probably a lot more complex than that, but I just am assured daily that those labs, our teams, the FBI are working.
You think he's mansplaining? I think he's menstruating is what I think. I think he's menstruating while he's mansplaining is what I think he's doing. I think the hair that was found in Nancy's belongs to the sheriff. Are you being serious? Is it silver? Silver fox? I Googled, we don't have the technology to separate multi-DNA samples. Yeah. It can be a little difficult.
DNA samples. 6 uses advanced software like STR-Mix.
My phone, actually, I didn't even mean to do that. It just heard me. Inton says Porch Guy will be arrested. Is it true? Well, we're going to get to that in just a minute. If you think of, if you're thinking about Marlene, she says 75% chance that they know who Porch Guy is.
Working on it constantly.
So the testing that's still going on, it's not unusual that this would go on over month after month. It takes that long to kind of...
Absolutely. Especially when you throw in genealogy.
And that's interesting. You know, he's talking about the genealogy there, and that the genealogy is what takes the time. That's the DNA, they can push through a lot quicker. The genealogy, now I bet you, that's interesting. I never thought about this, but now I bet AI can help with the genealogy. But till recently, genealogy was, you know, a middle-aged person sitting at the computer going down the line, right? And it is truly, it's generally, it's a person, it's a labor of love that they love to do this kind of thing. Sheriff may be done, but he's definitely not Porch Guy. Yeah, he's not Porch Guy. No.
Now you're trying to, hey, it's not the bad guy, but this person might be the bad guy's relative 3 times over. So it's a cousin, or it's a nephew, or it's a, and so that has to be broken down and looked at and seeing, is this somebody that should be of interest to us?
You mentioned the notes. Let's talk a little bit about, over the last week or so, there's been a flurry of reporting about notes. And a lot of it is very contradictory. So, and I realize that that's not necessarily your purview, but what is your take or your message about the notes?
So first of all, when we, and your team, very responsible, very appreciative from not just me, but the community, the family, law enforcement, reacted very appropriately, immediately got a note, the first note that said, hey, there's a ransom here. And you immediately called us and the FBI and we got working on it. And now we've seen it go to, I think, other news outlets. Sometimes we get different notes. Look, I can't stress this enough. The FBI takes these notes extremely serious. They track them down, and if they find it to be fraudulent, they don't just put aside. They will arrest you. They have made arrests. I think they made 2 or 3 arrests already.
Okay.
People who...
Okay. This is what I'm saying right here. Right here. They're checking, not DNA. The FBI is checking these notes. And when they find them to be fraudulent, they arrest them. They've arrested 2 or 3 people. We only know about one, number 1. Right? We only know about Derek. That's it. Why have we not known about the other 2 people, number 2? And number 3, if the FBI knows those are fraudulent, they got to know the other ones are either real or not, don't they? Right? Because he's making stuff up, in my opinion. I don't know. 2 or 3 arrests, thought there was only 1. I did too. I think so too. So why are they saying the TMZ may be real? Because they could have said nothing on the Reuters reporting. and TMZ reporting. They could have said, yeah, it's not real. But they're saying, we don't know. We don't know. Oh, you know. You know. You know.
As shameful as it is, are exploiting Nancy Guthrie and the family by, even if they're playing a game, I don't know what mind that is that says this is what I want to do. Don't do it. If you send a note, and whether it's fraudulent or otherwise, we're going to be looking at it very seriously, and you will be arrested. We're not just dismissing it. So we have a few of those that we've done, but I guess there's something out now that says, oh, the FBI or the sheriff have dismissed notes. That is not the truth. What we know is we have
what
note, and whether it's fraudulent or otherwise, we're going to be looking at it very seriously, and you will be arrested. We're not just dismissing it. So we have a few of those that we've done, but I guess there's something out now that says, oh, the FBI or the sheriff have dismissed notes. That is not the truth.
Okay, so the letters that are out now with TMZ, we're not dismissing it. That is not the truth, that the FBI and the Pima counties dismissed it.
What we know is we have a number of notes that we are actively looking at and will continue to actively investigate. Even though this piece is given to the FBI, if they need our assistance at the Sheriff's Department, we're there. This is, I think Director Patel said today, and he's absolutely correct, this is a local case, but we've always worked closely with our federal partners.
Oh, shut the fuck up. There he goes with our federal local partners. This is a local case, but we're just great with our federal partners that you just absolutely love, don't you, Nanny?
Our other local partners.
I must have called you Nanny.
The FBI and us, we have a task force. It didn't just start from this. It's been in existence for decades. We've always participated. We lean on each other for assistance, and we go beyond that. We go to other law enforcement agencies if we need their assistance with anything. Not just here locally, across the state, DPS or others, to say, hey, could you do this for us? And it just goes without saying, everybody has stepped up. Nobody said, oh, we can't do that for you, Sheriff. Or they know across the nation, they know how important this case is.
Mm-hmm. I think our community definitely knows it too.
Absolutely.
I'm good if you want to get a cutaway or a two-shot, and we'll just unless there's anything else you want to add, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think that we're set for the update.
Yeah. You guys have anything? I know this is the 5-month mark.
Yes.
And our thoughts are still and have been and will always be with the whole family. Guthrie family, I can't imagine. I don't even want to think about being in that place. Here you are 5 months later and you still have no answers. The best I could tell the family is we continue to work this case. We're not giving up.
Yeah. Will it change anything about the way you do detective work in the future? Is there anything that has come of this that you can learn from or that is informative in any way?
Well, I learned a lot, but I'm saying for the investigative efforts and that, no, I think the teams learn from not just each other, but as they move through any investigation, you should be learning. Hey, maybe I could try this tactic or that tactic. But no, our team, the Sheriff's Department and the FBI have just really, I can't give enough kudos to them.
Well, thank you, Sheriff Nanny, for that. Justin, who was it who was with T and Nancy was dropped off? Nobody. I seen an article on today's show saying T and A dropped her off, but I thought it was only T. Only T. Only T. And if that's changed, I'd like to see it. Yeah. C Carb, thank you so much, my friend. Welcome to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate you, my friend. Welcome. How you doing? Thank you so much, my dear. Well, welcome, C Carb, to the Pearl family. Really do appreciate you, my darling. Okay, we're going to go to Inta now and see this very interesting thing we got here. Here we go.
Literally, like, I have had plenty of just brilliant retired FBI profilers on who have said that they think the notes are fake, not real, just a distraction of something.
I think, personally, I think the TMZ letters are real, but I think they are a distraction. My personal opinion. But a lot of you guys don't believe they're real, and there is no right or wrong answer right now. But a lot of the profilers say that they're fake. I disagree.
Else going on here. Almost all of them have said that since the beginning, which is interesting. But I think the bottom line is we just don't know, and it doesn't seem that the FBI knows either. So they have to consider the notes, and they have to at least consider that they're real at this point. And that is what I gather from their statement, saying that, you know, it's possible that they're legitimate. So it seems that the Reuters report saying that they were fake is not entirely correct, but I can see where they're coming from, and it depends who they spoke to, because there's a...
Okay. Do you think the TMZ notes are real or fake? 1 in the chat for real, 2 fake. Which one is it?
Officials who I've spoken to have said they believe the notes are fake, but no one has been able to tell me we 100% know for sure that the notes are fake. And that's why I think that they're still part of the investigation. So I'll continue to stay on top of all of that. There's been a lot of kind of mixed messaging coming out, but I think it's good that we got the official statement from the FBI. And keep in mind, they have not put out a lot of official statements when it comes to the Nancy Guthrie investigation, especially over the last couple of months. So I found it interesting that they chose to issue an official statement on this situation that came up with the ransom notes.
Okay.
So I'll stay on it. I want to talk to criminal defense attorney Mark Garagos about all.
Mark Garagos is a criminal defense attorney. He is high profile.
This, but again, also, and I don't know why I'm so interested in this, because I think this could actually help. I want to hear him explain how someone involved could give info and get some kind of immunity.
Hey, Mark, it's nice to see you. Thank you for joining me. It's always a pleasure. I got a couple questions for you.
Any son of a criminal defense lawyer is a...
I think that, here's the thing. I think, okay, even the 2 notes that the FBI and Savannah's family believe are real, I totally believe the first 2 notes. But I don't believe it's for ransom. I still believe that's for a distraction only.
Friend of mine, as a son of and a father of a defense lawyer, I feel like it's a generational duty. So
yeah, thank you. I try to keep that a secret sometimes, but
I know because any son of a criminal defense lawyer is a friend of mine. As a son of and a father of a defense lawyer, I feel like it's a generational duty. So
yeah, thank you. I try to keep that a secret sometimes, but
I know because it would ruin your true crime fandom. I know they don't want you as the spawn of Satan. I get it.
Yeah. I'm very proud of my dad. So, but I wanted to ask you a few things. First, I wanted to start with where you're at on these Nancy Guthrie ransom notes. You know, Reuters had reported that they were all fake, which I knew was a bad report just because of my own sources. I know there are people within FBI who think they're fake, but there are also people who think that they're still legit. So, and they just don't know. And now the FBI has put out an official statement, which is interesting because they haven't put an official statement out about Nancy Guthrie in months, but they did today, saying that some have been deemed to be extortion attempts without legitimacy. Other ransom demands may potentially be legitimate and are still being investigated as such. What do you think?
But how long? I mean, come on now. how long does it take them to, okay, how long did it take them to discover that Derek was a fraud? Not very long, did it? How long would it take them to know these TMZ guy is a fraud or not? 6 months? And we're still getting letters and it's still being reported on? So why are they not just knocking it now and saying, of course it's bullshit? Or of course it's real? Exactly. Not very long at all. Immediately they should know by now. Exactly. So why are they not saying that these are 100% a fraud? And that is true. That is true. He used a VoIP number as well, so it didn't take him as long. But still, I mean, it's the fucking FBI. They are going around and around. And that's why I believe they're real. More so.
What is going on?
I don't think that the person who's writing the letter, I don't think that they just know something and are not involved. I think they're involved, in my opinion.
Well, I'm going to give you just a little bit of, I'll blow some smoke your way. You've been kind of on the forefront of this. You've really done some amazing reporting on this. And as you know, today when the Reuters report came out, I'm going to bet, we haven't talked about this, right? Full disclosure, you and I just are talking. Full disclosure, I knew exactly where that came from.
They tend to say, you know, kind of refuse to, but they don't refuse to refute it either. You know what I mean? Netflix and Harvey are kicking their lips on the documentary that went to his email and that had a whole government name. Well, it had a VoIP number, which they can go straight to Google, get a warrant, and it'll tell them exactly who it is. It would take no Nads years to discover. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Scotia. I'm going to look at that.
That was, and I don't know if you know this, but I was told before it hit this morning that there was kind of a back and forth internally at the FBI, because the people who had been very dismissive of this, which is one wing of the FBI, and I'm not going to name which wing, but you and I probably would know. They put that out. That was a planted story, which, as you have rightfully pointed out, as we tape this on Wednesday evening, they just hours ago released an official statement. They have not released an official statement in recent memory.
Okay, so planted story. What did we talk about yesterday? It might be to tickle the wire, to get them, this person talking. Oh, we don't think it's real. Oh, well, let me prove it to you it's real, kind of thing. Probably. They immediately knew Derek's were fake. That leads to me to think that they may know the other ones are real. I agree. I'm starting to think not real because it couldn't threaten a life. It seems it was a professional hit. I don't think this was professional, in my opinion. There's a very few real professionals out there. There's people who are good at it, but real professionals, very few. Very few. So I kind of agree with Mark on this. I think might be right.
The reason they did that is precisely because that Reuters story was absolutely false, and they were played by somebody with an axe to grind in the FBI. Clearly, the FBI, and I know this beyond any shadow of a doubt, they are taking several of these notes completely seriously and have followed up and expended great resources on it.
Okay. So again, they're taking a lot of these seriously.
What do you think the intention would be of people in the FBI wanting the public to come to the conclusion that the notes are not real?
Because there was a ball dropping. A lot of people, and you reported on this also, a lot of people were blaming the sheriff, that he missed opportunities. He did this, he did that, all of which may be true. But what also happened was there were elements, and I say this, and I want to be clear, there were some missteps, FBI missteps, that were glaring. And those glaring missteps, other elements, and I'm going to make sure everybody understands this, other parts of the FBI quickly realized that there were missteps and tried to course correct. And as usually happens in law enforcement and bureaucracies, people were kind of protecting their backside, and it was cover your ass, and it was that kind of game playing internally, which is why we saw today. It's rather unprecedented, Brian. I mean, think about the last time a report comes out and says that all of these reports about the ransom notes are basically bogus.
When is the last time you have actually heard the FBI come out and say yes or no about anything? They never do that. The FBI, it's kind of like the king and queen of England. Never complain, never explain. And that is what they do. They never explain themselves. They just let people talk while they do their cases. That's what they do. They never explain. They explained on this one. Very interesting.
And the FBI, on a high-profile, intensely covered case, puts out something that says, "Wait, don't go so far here. That's not the case. It's not true." They were debunking it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they would put out an official comment. I mean, just because they haven't, when there's been other reports and anonymous sources in the past. The other thing I zeroed in on here in the comment, in the official statement, was this case continues to be investigated as a kidnapping-for-ransom case, which is something that, yes, I assumed, and they referenced that early on, but like, for them to say that now, why do they need to tell us that it's being investigated as a kidnapping-for-ransom case? Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't they just let us know that they're just investigating?
I think that
this is so interesting.
I'll say I think, just to couch it so it doesn't kind of reveal where I'm getting this from. But it's clear that what happened was there were people higher up in the food chain that were very disappointed, that's my word, in what was happening. They knew early on, or they realized, some of them, the people who were sharper, that this was a kidnapping for ransom. The problem was that the ones who initially responded it was kind of Keystone Cops along the lines of what the sheriff was getting at.
This frustrates the shit out of me, guys, because I just can't get back. I just don't know that the kidnapping for ransom thing. Okay, if this was a kidnapping for ransom, I go back to this, but I can't help it. If this was a kidnapping for ransom, why didn't they leave a letter at the house? Why didn't they get to the family quicker? If you're going to do all of this research and go to the house weeks before you kidnap Nancy, you're going to, I don't know, get Annie and Tommaso's, Cameron's, Savannah's phone number, right? And you're going to get in contact with them. You're going to want to make this as small as possible because this is already, it's a high profile target, right? If you will. A national reporter's mother. Okay. So you wait a while before you drop this ransom letter. Time is of the essence. Okay. Family comes out, says, we want to hear more from you. Next day comes, or the day after, and they say, time is no longer of the essence. She's dead. The watch was on the floor at the end of the bed. Sorry, there's nothing you could have done. Okay. Nancy or Savannah and them put out the letter and they say, we understand you, but we are still willing to pay. We're still willing to pay you. We still need our mother back wherever the hell she is, dead or alive. It's very valuable to us. Nothing. Nothing. Well, if this was all for ransom, why are they not asking for the money here? Why are they not asking for the money? I'm about to go through my fucking monitor right now. I'm so frustrated with this. They would still be asking for money. They're not going to go through all of this bullshit, pardon my French, and say, oh, sorry. Nothing you could have done. Nothing we could have done. Not going to get the money anymore. I'm just going to, sit back. Sorry. We tried to do this for ransom, but, she died. Sorry. Mikasa Sukasa. We're over it. I'm sorry. I cannot buy that. This was much more personal. This ransom thing is to throw everybody the fuck off. And I wonder about these people's sources. I'm like, the FBI cannot believe this. Selma, thank you so much, my dear. I appreciate you. The only thing that I can think of, they should have paid them. Maybe the fuck up the feds was telling them not to. Well, there is reporting out there that says they thought that that they made a mistake and they didn't pay. They wanted to get rid of her no ransom. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. I feel just like that's exactly what it feels like to me. This is very frustrating. Thank you so much, Laura. Appreciate you, doll. Thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate you. This is to throw them off. I mean, again, these TMZ letters, I'll tell you, I'll put it on a silver platter. I have nothing to do with it, but I have it on my phone in another location. Give me one Bitcoin, $64,000. I won't cash it out until these people are arrested. No, bullshit. Didn't the TMZ email say the same thing about running out of time in sync with the ransom notes, saying time is no longer of the essence? I think so, Amy. I think so. Maybe the kidnapper may have intended to demand the money later, and the kidnapping went wrong before ransom demand could be made. Point, yes, could be, but here's the thing. You should already have all of this shit planned out, right? Plan A, plan B, like you're doing it weeks in advance. But they still should take the money. Even if she's dead, they're willing to pay. Savannah said, I'm willing to pay. I'm sorry. I'm willing to pay. We're still willing to pay. Okay, get your coin then. Let's get Nancy. But they still had the body. Exactly. Also, that Nancy needed her medications. Thank you. Yes, I said that the other day. Okay, so your point was to take Nancy. You didn't mean to harm her, right? You didn't mean to harm her, but you left her medications at the home. But there was nothing that could have been done. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I believe the harm was to Nancy. I know. It's crazy. No, Savannah said, we will pay. Didn't say, we will pay you. Well, she was talking directly to the kidnappers. So I would say that would be, we will pay you, in my opinion. Could someone have wanted to trade Nancy working? I don't guess. Love you, share. Because she's already deceased, didn't need the meds. But you would take them with her. You know what I mean?
Accused of. And so today they made it unequivocal that they're investigating his kidnapping for ransom. And the reason for that is they have some legitimate.
Maybe, I'm not saying this, but maybe they are saying that this is a kidnapping for ransom because I feel like I'm going down the damn rabbit hole and I don't like conspiracy theories or anything, but maybe they're saying this is a kidnapping for ransom to the public so that the people that or person that actually did this, they think, oh, well, they're not after me right now because they're saying this is a kidnapping for ransom. I got nothing to worry about. What do you think?
What they think are credible leads that, and they want the perpetrators and especially one of the Confederates.
Hell no. In my opinion, real kidnappers do not want to make the news, and they sure wouldn't know. They sure would have known they would be taking Savannah's mom. 1000%. 1000%. Beauty lover, thank you so much for the heart. Appreciate you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. And what's up? Thank you for the chili, my dear. Appreciate you very much. Thank you so much.
Or somebody who has information to know that they are serious about this and that they're taking it seriously.
How careful do they have to be with these statements when it comes to like a trial one day? Like, you know, when as a criminal defense lawyer, could you go back and look at these statements if they said, oh, we don't think the notes are real, or we do think the notes are real? And then, you know what I mean? Could they play those against the FBI later?
Well, you know, it's such a great point. Last trial I did, we had on an LA County coroner, and I put on evidence about the LA County coroner. I took LAPD information.
So I do too, and I usually never say this about law enforcement or anything, but I do feel like there's a lot of gaslighting going on in this case, and I rarely ever think that in a case, but in this case, I feel like there's a lot of gaslighting. You're fine, Cindy. You're funny. Scientists agree they never actually studied this, but hit the like button. Love you, darling. The crumbs for me. Why was Savannah Guthrie so quick to call MK? Mark Kelly. What was the purpose of the call? AG's vehicle was held in evidence for a long time. What was in areas with tax obligation? I look at all the comments leading to the Derek having court today and look at the accuracy for them before I make a judgment. Okay, let's get it.
They were slamming
Very
the LA County
frustrating.
coroner, and the coroner was slamming him back. You know which case
What's
I'm
up?
talking
Thank you for
about.
the chili.
That came into
Chili babe.
evidence because it directly went to one of the elements that was at issue.
Yep.
If you have a trial someday, they capture somebody and it's a kidnapping for ransom, or that is the prosecutorial theory. If they had not done this and cleaned it up today, you can bet that a defense lawyer would be arguing that every single day and on every single cross-examination.
Right. So you think when they make these decisions about what to
federal.
comment on, they're playing that out?
I don't think that it's too far-fetched that you've got somebody who's saying to themselves, why are you getting so far over your skis to say that none of these, that first Reuters story was so kind of unequivocal, was so just wrong that if they let that sit out there, it did jeopardize an investigation. And clearly, to your point, it was potentially jeopardizing to a prosecution.
The other reason I didn't think it was true.
Yes. Very smart. Very smart, right? Okay. So let's think about this a minute. If these TMZ letters, if they don't believe that they are real, right? Or they don't know, which I just have a hard time believing that they don't know. Why would they just, this goes to trial later. They could say, well, look, it was out there that these letters were fake. They were absolutely fake. FBI, Pima County didn't say, wait a minute. Wait a minute. We're not saying that. We're not saying that. These absolutely could be real, or are real, or could be real. That makes me believe that they're even more real, in my opinion, because if this goes to trial, and it will go to trial, I think they're real. Or they just simply don't know. Or they simply don't know. Just listen to that little part again.
Comment on their playing that out.
I don't think that it's too far-fetched that you've got somebody who's saying to themselves, why are you getting so far over your skis to say that none of these, that first Reuters story was so kind of unequivocal, was so just wrong that if they let that sit out there, it did jeopardize an investigation. And clearly, to your point, it was potentially jeopardizing to a prosecution.
Potentially jeopardizing to the prosecution. The person who will prosecute this mofo right here. Right? And if they said it's not real, that could be very jeopardizing to the prosecution. I just cannot emphasize enough how rare it is for the FBI to come out and say, now the FBI is not going to come out, in my opinion, and say that, yes, these are real. They don't even come out and say the first two letters are real, right? They say that they believe that they are more. The FBI is never going to give you a yes or a no until it goes to court. That's when they're going to give the full deck up. This could have been very jeopardizing, and they responded to this. I can't think of any other cases where they've came out and spoke about something while a case has not, is still in the news. So again, I think these FBI, even if they know that they're real, these TMZ letters, they're not going to tell us. They're going to say, we're not sure, but we're not going to discount them. Thank you, Cindy. So I believe the TMZ letters. I do.
The other reason I didn't think it was true, besides just the people that I talked to that have been around the case, is that, you know, NBC News has been reporting about the ransom notes as recently as a couple days ago, last week, with sources saying this was in the note, this wasn't in the note. And you know that they are running these things by Savannah. I mean, or someone in her circle. They're not going to not tell her what they're reporting and make sure it's true. And the fact that they wouldn't be doing that if she thought the notes were fake.
You know, it's also such a good point. For those who don't, you know, you can slam corporations.
Exactly. Now think about that. FBI knows the answer before, or at least have a general direction about this. Like, they're not going to give Savannah a bullshit letter. They're not even going to waste their time and come to Savannah. If they believe that these letters have legitimacy, they are going to then take it to the family, right? And again, I say with these TMZ letters, why are we still even entertaining it if they don't believe they're real? And I believe that they believe that they're real. FBI knows the answers before they ask the question. 1,000%. Look at the facts announcement of death. What's left behind? I'm sure some life support, right? A house, a car. The brother is currently driving. Family been taking things out of the house, right? I don't know. Yes, T. Yep.
And say whatever you want.
I mean, almost all of these profilers and said of like these letters, these TMZ letters aren't real. I disagree.
She is a valued voice in that organization. They want her back, and they are trying desperately, and at least anybody that I know who's at NBC, and I know quite a few, I have friends there, that have said they've bent over backwards to try to accommodate her and be, you know, somewhat sympathetic or empathetic. You're absolutely right. They're not going to be reporting stuff that is going to compromise her, that is going to put her, and when I say compromise, it's not even the word, it just put her in an uncomfortable situation in the sense that she's got to push back and say, why are you reporting this? This isn't true. They, if not getting her permission, they're at least getting her blessing.
Absolutely,
or
Sue.
Journalistic kind of eyes on it, because they don't want to go out.
I absolutely believe that it was to poke the bear, and a kind of a twofold, and with later prosecution down the road. There is a $70,000 unpaid deed of trust on the house. Legally, it's owned by the lender. She had a line of credit, if that's what you mean. I understand why the FBI, etc., do things on TV, but it makes it hard to watch for bad info. Yeah. Where is Detective when you need? I don't understand the TMZ connection either. Well, again, why did the original 2 ransom letters, why did they go to KOLD and TMZ to begin with? That's not what someone normally does for a ransom. They want to keep it as small as possible. Not in this case.
Out there with one of their own and be reporting misinformation.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk to you about something. I remember you said this very early on, and then you brought it up again on News Nation, I think over the weekend. Yeah. And I'm kind of like obsessed with it. Like this idea that someone with information or someone involved could get a lawyer and work a deal so that they could bring information forward and not fear like a serious prosecution, which to me, and when you said it the second time, it clicked with me. It seems like that could be one of the ways they could solve this case.
It's exactly right. And this is not, I'd like to say, oh, it's some brilliant observation or insight that I've had. No, you hang around for 5 decades or so and you see kind of similar patterns. And one of the ways, a tried and true law enforcement technique, is to get some kind of cooperation from a.
Okay. Callie girl, I completely understand what you're saying here, but I've got something I want to ask you. In my opinion, if A&T's story did not match up with the car and the phone telematics, they would be in jail already. I really don't think they are clever enough to pull an almost zero footprint crime, in my opinion. I hear you and I understand, but I'll tell you where I'm confused at on this. Why? Okay. If, for instance, Nancy was dropped off, we'll say 6:30 at their house. Nancy stays until, we'll say 9:30, is driven back over by Tommaso and Nancy, drops her off. She goes in the house. Tommaso comes back home, goes in his house, and spends the rest of the night. Okay? Spends the rest of the night. They should be easily able to point that out through cameras that he never left his house that night. Except after they would check that, they went and took their car and kept it for 40 some days. They didn't keep anybody else's car for 40 some days. Right? And then they go to the garage, specifically the garage and another room in their house, and they're looking specifically in the garage and another room in their house. Then they go back another day. Well, after that night, then they go straight back to Nancy's, and they're looking for allegedly a phone. Allegedly a phone. And then they go the next day, they're at Nancy's. They all haul ass over at Nancy and Tommaso's house. They're going into the neighbors' yards. They're going in campers. They're going in neighbors' houses. There is 200 law enforcement on the ground looking in backyards and all that. So that's what I can't get over with all of this, right? I understand. I get it. You've got to look at the family, especially the last people that saw them. But just because Tommaso goes in the house that night, right? Just because he goes in the house that night does not mean you're not involved. Just because he goes in the house and doesn't leave does not mean you're not involved. I pray to the good Lord in heaven that Tommaso and Annie are, and anybody like that in the family is not involved. But you gotta, I mean, if I know Tommaso didn't leave that house, he just dropped Nancy off, went straight home, went to bed. Why are they taking his car if he's been home all night? Why are you taking the car if you've been home all night? You know what I mean? Like, if I knew Tommaso dropped Nancy off, went back home, why are you taking their car 40 some days? Hell yeah, I think they would have the footage. Yes. You know, there's cameras in their neighborhood. They probably have, I think Annie and Tommaso have cameras at their house. Right? You see Tommaso pull right in his neighborhood 10 minutes after he drops Nancy off? Doesn't come out of his house that night? Why? It's weird. And that's the part I can't get over with Annie and Tommaso. That's the part I can't get over. So, I don't know.
Confederate. We always say in federal cases, first one in the door gets the best deal, so to speak. But if you have information, one of the jobs of a lawyer in the criminal justice system is to assess your client's culpability, exposure, and then to find a soft place to land. That's just the reality of it. Here you've got somebody who apparently has, at least if they're not a complete fraudster, has a financial motivation, but seems to also have some fear of exposure, an exposure of criminal prosecution or exposure from a Confederate that may want to come after them. There are ways to deal with that. You do what's called a reverse proffer. You go meet with the U.S. attorney, you go meet with the DA, you go meet with the, a joint task force, and you say, look, I can provide you with A, B, C, and D. I can give you a location, I can give you names, I can give you some kind of
And to me, it's not, it is weird that they call it an Uber for her, but to me, it's even more weird that she is unalived or abducted right after they essentially the same day she goes to their house, right? I mean, she's 84 years old. She does, things, but she doesn't do things every day. And it's the day that she is dropped off after being at their house. You know what I mean?
case of this last note, I can give you a still shot. You might think this still shot is AI inspired, but have at it. You've got the greatest forensic lab known to man. Take a look at it and tell me whether or not this is proof or close enough to proof. And if you've got, by the way, for the last note, some area where you've got all of this material either on an external drive or on some other kind of a device, I will let you know where that device is. But I want some kind of a deal, and that's the way to solve this case. A lot of people think that most cases or hard cases are solved by good detective work, and that's certainly true in many cases, but an awful lot of cases are solved by a Confederate or somebody who is the recipient of loose lips, which sinks ships.
So how does that work? I mean, you've done this before, I'm assuming, where
I have many times.
So let's just say this guy is out there who knows something, who's like maybe was a helper or something, wants to do the right thing, is scared. What do they show up to a lawyer? I mean, how does this all go down?
I've had this. I'll give you a couple of instances. One of the most common is they will send an inquiry to my website. And the inquiry is, I don't want to reveal, but here is how you contact me. And I'll say, just call the office at X time from a block phone. That way you don't have to worry about being traced. I will tell them, give me the information, and I may test them because, unfortunately, you have a lot of people who have some mental challenges, and for every legitimate person, there may be 10 or 20 or exponentially more who aren't legitimate. But if you get a sense that they are legitimate, you then tell them, look, this is what I can do for you. You come in, I'll meet with you, you retain me, I will protect your anonymity, you give me what you have. I will then fashion what is, I think, enough information so that whoever I'm going to go to, the law enforcement, prosecutor, a lot of times I like dealing with the prosecutor first. And in cases like this, obviously a prosecutor is involved. And I will tell them, I think I've got credible information. Let me tell you what it is. You can test it out. I'm willing to go interactive, which is what I do sometimes. So you can test it. If it turns out to be good, this is what I need, A, B, C, D, and E. If they want money, I'm upfront about that. I don't want them. And a lot of times law enforcement wants to know that. Is this somebody who's looking for money? Is it a grifter, or is it somebody who's got a financial motive? If it is, we'll deal with it. If it's somebody who's worried about repercussions, if this was a kidnapping, if these people are considered dangerous, they may just want protection for them or their family. There's a way to deal with that as well. So,
and that's an interesting point, because this person that's writing TMZ, they say they had nothing to do with it, but they say, they're afraid and they want protection. Now, again, I don't know how you get Nancy's death on your phone and you're not involved, but I digress on that.
You just front that, you get what the client needs, you get what their concerns are, and then from there you try to fashion an exit strategy, or as I always call it, a soft place to land.
And will the prosecutor always make a deal? I mean, how can you trust them that they're not going to then, no, we're actually going to charge the guy with murder and thanks for the info?
So there are various ways to do this.
Thank you, Callie girl.
One of the things that often is done, and I will of manipulate it.
Appreciate that comment.
They have what's called a queen for a day. That's generally the federal, but it's seeped into some of the states. It is a kind of an agreement between the government and the lawyer and the client that whatever they said can't be used against them except in certain discrete instances. You can negotiate that. If you want even further than that, then something, you've got use immunity, you've got transactional immunity, you have various ways to kind of reduce this to writing and make it an agreement. The government can be bound by a contract just like anybody else.
Absolutely.
So it's basic contractual.
Yeah. And listen, it's this, and he is absolutely right. If the government chooses to abide by this agreement that they would hash out together, they can't take that away. They really can't. So they would be bound by the agreement. And that's why deals happen. Almost always. But maybe not in this case. But if this guy is sending notes to TMZ and TMZ is reporting on it, the perp are going to know who the note writer is, and they would be pissed. You're exactly right, Becky. And that is why, in my opinion, I believe that the person who is writing this letter is trying to throw someone off. Not that I do believe that they're involved, the person with the TMZ letter, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Oh, who dad? That's very generous. Thank you so much, babe. Appreciate you very much. Who dad? GGY. Love you, darling. Trips me out when I land on your channel and I'm sending you a gift and you say, thank you, Kelly. That's funny. Thank you so much, who dad. Love you, babies. Think I'm talking to you? That's funny. Thank you so much, who dad. I appreciate you, babe. It's very generous of you. It cracks me up. Like if I'm in another channel and they say, even if like someone says just, or they say Justin, I'm like, and they're talking about another Justin, I'm like, or they'll say justification. And I think when I hear just, I immediately, my ears perk up like that. So I get it. Totally get it. Yeah. I know. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. Like the boys who were arrested in AZ for breaking in an elderly man's home and demanding Bitcoin. Yes. It's like the new Wild West, the Bitcoin thing is, isn't it? It's really weird. They're all demanding Bitcoin and stuff now. So thank you. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being here. Still wonder who the porch guy lookalike guy was that pulled up the 857 to ask about the TMZ. It was weird, Meredith, I gotta admit. And again, the names of, I just go back to the GUN store, the names that they were looking at, right? The names that they were looking at, it makes you wonder. I don't understand the Bitcoin. You're not the only one, girl. I don't either. I don't understand it either. I don't know how it works or anything like that.
Law, and there are always, like in a plea agreement, where it says that we're going to give you credit for cooperation, what's called a 5K. One of the things the government will say.
I truly think if Nancy was alive when she was in the vehicle, when they put her in a vehicle, I don't think she was alive more than an hour after she got in that vehicle. I really don't. I don't. I kind of think that she might not even been alive by the time she got to the car. Thank you, Mama, for the heart. Appreciate you. Shout out Iggy Azalea. That's, yeah, you know that song. When Who Dat comes in, I sing that song. Who Dat, I-G-G-Y. I love that song. In my opinion, it's an attempt to throw off the investigation of what really happened, but how strange they told them she passed. Why that's dumb unless someone needed to have it public. She passed. I don't know. Hey, Green Eyes, how you doing, babies?
Is if we find out you're lying, that can, all bets are off, basically. You can do the same thing without a plea agreement, but just with an agreement for cooperation.
So 5 months now it's been. I mean, maybe this could actually be a way. I mean, if someone's watching this, maybe this is a way that someone could bring some resolution to this whole thing.
I really think you're in the true crime space. I've been doing this for a long time. There is an old adage that the first 48, 72 hours is the most important. I think that is true in the sense of, for police to do pure detective work. After that period of time, then it really becomes somebody slipping up, or a Confederate, or somebody getting busted, or
right.
somebody in a tight spot.
He's right.
It becomes not so much detective work as somebody who is exposed in some way or vulnerable, who then cooperates and uses that information.
Yeah.
We're in that zone right now. And your point.
I mean, I agree. And I've said this simply from nearly the beginning. Simply Real says, I agree with you, Justin. I have a feeling they had prepped a disposal place beforehand. I have a feeling that they dug a grave previous to the crime. I agree. And I have said this because time is of the essence whenever you want someone gone, right? And this was, by all intents and purposes, pre-planned, executed, and carried out. If they were there January 11th, maybe even before January 11th, we don't know. But if they were stalking this place on January 11th, they had this all planned out. They knew how to get in the house. They knew that Nancy was alone. They were watching her. They knew what route they were going to take for probably the most cameras to not be on them. And they knew essentially where they were going to take Nancy, wherever that is. And they knew where they were going to probably put her. When people do this off the cuff, very randomly, there's not a lot of thought process. So they panic and they don't know where the hell they're going to put the person or whatever. This could have already, a grave could have already been dug, or wherever they were going to place her, they already had this ready. So I agree. they knew if they were going to turn left or right, which I think they turned left. In my opinion, I think they turned left when they left the driveway. But they knew if they were going to turn left or right. They knew which street they were going to go down. They may have even, you know, did some trial runs on, you know, which street was best and all that. Somebody says exactly, Justin. This was all planned out, in my opinion, at least a few weeks before they broke into Nancy's house. Absolutely. Absolutely. 138 days ago, the FBI was at Luke Staley's mother's house with a federally signed warrant. How confident do you feel the FBI is after doing that? I still believe that, in my opinion, again, I'm not saying Luke is involved or he's guilty. But I will say, in my opinion, I believe that Luke came across the radar for some reason. And it wasn't just because an eyes matched up or anything to violate their privacy by knocking down the, you know, the doors and going through their home. And I still believe that there is some sort of connection there. I don't believe the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the United States Attorney General, the State Attorney General, Pima County, and a magistrate and or judge would sign off on that warrant if something wasn't smoking.
I think
and that's what I was asking earlier. I said, okay, would a reporter ask about Luke? Would they ask about Luke? And I don't find it a coincidence, in my opinion, that like a day before, or was it a day after? I can't remember. What's her name? Luke's ex-girlfriend that says he doesn't really know a lot about, was arrested. I think she knew more. The streets were talking. And I think she knew more.
Well taken. If there was ever going to be a time for somebody to get their maximum leverage in terms of what they can get, this would be the time.
You think we're in that window?
I think we're absolutely in that window. And I think what the FBI did today was extremely smart. When they put out that statement today, I said, wow, now they're serious. They understand. They get it. There's an adult in the room at the FBI who said, I don't know who leaked that, or I have a pretty good idea who leaked that Reuters story, but we're gonna clean that up immediately, because they know, they've got statistics, they do data analysis with the best of them. They understand that we are long past developing leads and forensic clues that are going to solve this. We're at the point where we need somebody from the public to come in and help give us a hand.
Are you surprised, Mark, with all your experience, that this is still unsolved? I mean, it really is a unique, weird case.
I am. And I know, they're really, really, yeah. I mean, you've watched it, you, and I don't mean to keep blowing smoke up your way, but you have been at the forefront of this. You've seen a lot of the missteps, and you don't have to, I don't want to burn your sources or anything else, but there were so many just classic errors in the first 2, 3, 4 days that, you just want to pull your hair out, because, I don't know Savannah well, but I know her well enough. And I think anybody who feels like they know her has got to have the empathy for her. And you want this to be solved. And, everybody's got a mother that's, that maybe have challenges or whatever else. You don't want to see anybody, a mother, grandmother, whoever, you don't want to see anybody get kidnapped. And so if it was ever going to be solved, it should have been in the first couple of days. I was very...
Well, thank Nanos for that. Nanos is a buffoon.
Optimistic and forced myself to be optimistic initially. I'm not anymore in terms of her health and safety, but I am optimistic at this point that we're in a unique window right now where something could break.
I hope so. And I think that it must be frustrating for Savannah too. I mean, she obviously has to
she's got her job on the Today Show, and you don't really want to call out law enforcement when you need them at the same time, but she must be frustrated.
Yeah, thank the nanny in the white convertible. I'm starting to call Sheriff Nano's nanny now in the white convertible.
I mean, like you said, all the mistakes that were made early on, and even the Reuters report comes out, and then this comes out. She probably doesn't know when, and then she's got her people telling her things. It must be pretty awful.
Well, I've said for many years that in a different context, so one of the problems with gag orders, for instance, is there's this symbiotic relationship between the media and law enforcement. I mean, nobody leaks. I always like to tease my law enforcement friends. Nobody leaks like law enforcement does. Well, here in this.
Oh, he is right. Nobody leaks like law enforcement. Law enforcement are gossip queens. I'm telling you. As long as you get a good source from law enforcement, a lot of them will talk. A lot of them will talk.
This case, you've got somebody and you've got an organization that relies on law enforcement for a number of things, for guidance, not just leaks. And I'm not doing it in a pejorative sense, but how are you going to, it's very difficult to be critical when you still don't know everything and you don't know what you don't know, so to speak. But it was obvious to anybody who had neurons firing in the first couple of days what was the kind of clumsy, I guess, is for lack of a better term. It was really a clumsy start. And the unfortunate part is it's extremely difficult to catch up, to get your footing after you've missed that initial window.
Yeah. Well, I hope we're in a window now. It would be nice to see this finally get solved. Mark, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. I appreciate you.
Brian, it's always great to see you. Thank you.
All right, guys. So he's got another interview over there as well. This guy.
I'm modifying it a bit.
So make sure you watch Brian for the rest of that. Brian Inton investigates. Very, very good reporting Brian does on that. Let me see if there's anything else coming in. What's this? Okay, yeah, we saw that one. Bear with me 1 second, guys. Watch, I spoke to Nancy Guthrie's letter writer. TMZ. What? Hold on. 1 second. Okay, listen to this. We're going to go to TMZ on this.
I believe it was Saturday night is when Savannah came out with that really heart-wrenching statement where she said, bring us back, bring us to our mother so we can bring her home and celebrate. That felt to me back then like they knew she had died. When you say bring her back so we can celebrate.
The Bitcoin address given by notes 1 and number 2 only going to one station, is a different Bitcoin address than the Bitcoin address in this note that we're talking about today.
Yeah, and the reason we know that this note today is the same as, is written by the same person, is that the last one we received before this one, the last one we received said, well, I'm not going to get in touch with you anymore. I'm going to deactivate the Bitcoin account.
I'm not going to get in touch with you anymore. I'm going to deactivate the Bitcoin account. They did deactivate that from what I understand.
And we never published the Bitcoin address. So in this note, he says, I have a new Bitcoin address that you can send this money to. And then he references the old one just to show it's the same guy. And we never published that Bitcoin address, and it is the exact same one.
Have you published any of these notes?
We haven't published.
They were interviewed at the same time.
We've quoted from them.
Have you even shown anything indicia of it?
No, we've never shown any of the notes. But
well, shouldn't we show a little bit of this?
Well, I mean, I've read a lot of this to you.
Come on, Harvey, show it.
And when he says, look, if you send me the Bitcoin, that I will let you know where this phone is, and it's in a safe location that's easily accessible if you are guided to it. To me, that feels like a safe deposit box. And he says that that the phone is turned off, but I will lead you to that safe deposit box and give you the password so you can access the phone. So that's what he says. Now,
so if this guy is not, or woman is not a fraudster, I think I said this to
I
you
believe
once
him either
before,
way.
and I would, hopefully they're listening or hear it. Why don't they just go to a lawyer and have the lawyer work on a contingency to broker the information, which then keeps the anonymity of the client and allows the information to get wherever. You don't even have to rely on a Bitcoin. A lawyer can keep the money in a trust account pending the confirmation of the information or the phone or whatever else it is.
Exactly.
I don't know why they make it so cloak and dagger when there seems to be a rather simple way to navigate this.
That's actually a really interesting idea. And he certainly hasn't raised it. And one of the reasons he might not want to do that is if he's a fraudster.
Right. And so that's what tends to lead me to believe that the person is a fraudster, because otherwise, go to a lawyer who's got to turn.
I don't think they're a fraudster. I think that they're scared shitless, and this is a way for them to communicate and try to push the narrative a little bit more. And I think that they're trying to, push this away from them. But again, if you have nothing to do with it, why won't you do the 1.2 mil, mother chicken? I don't know. It was reported on after Savannah made her video, but what she said, everyone was saying they felt it meant she passed. Well, they did say she passed. They just didn't tell us that at the time. Now we know that she did pass. There was nothing you could do, they said, right? So there's that. All right, guys, I'm at 2 hours. I want to thank you all so much for being with me. You guys are amazing. Really, really do appreciate you. Nanny Chicken Party. I am so afraid this case is going to end like the Delphi case. It's not. It's not. It's going to be, which Delphi was solved. Depends if you believe it or not. But Ratui. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. I've got a lot of work still ahead of me tonight. I gotta look into Aiken County 4-year-old Jahavia Harris. So I will be live tomorrow. Might be 2 lives tomorrow. Definitely one on Jahavia. Or if anything breaks tonight, I'll be live. So put your phone under your pillow. So we'll be live with that tomorrow, and probably Nancy Guthrie as well. So I got some stuff I got to do. Oh, I need to thank you guys for the gifts before I go. 1 second. Thank you for reminding me with that. You're the best at reminding that, Linda. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Oops, wrong channel. 1 second. I gotta switch channels. And by the way, guys, we just hit 43,100 subs. Thank you guys. You guys are amazing. Okay. Bear with me. Okay. Patty, thank you so much for the 100 jewels, my dear. Really, really do appreciate you. Thank you so very much, my love. Appreciate you. And thank you, user. Thank you so much for the 6767 jewels. Appreciate you, my dear. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, my love. Let's see. And if I missed anybody, it's not intentional, I promise you. Okay. Grace, thank you for the 200 jewels, my dear. Appreciate you very much. Kim, thank you for the happy poop, the 10 jewels. Appreciate you, my dear. 3 pugs, thank you for the floating hearts, my dear. And thank you for the flower send. Appreciate you very much. And Nancy, thank you for the 200 flow state jewels. Appreciate you, my dear. 3 pugs, thank you for the floating heart again, my dear. And thank you for another floating heart and the other floating heart. Appreciate you. V, thank you for the floating heart. Appreciate you so much, my dear. Joe Ann, good to see you. Thank you so much for the 10 jewels, my dear. Appreciate you. And 603, thank you for the 2 stars, my dear. Appreciate you very much. And Beauty Lover, thank you so much for the floating heart 10 jewels. What's up? Thank you for the chili. Appreciate you very much. Linda, thank you for the sparkles, my dear. And Mama Bear, thank you for the 10 jewels. Appreciate you very, very much. And I think that's it. I need to go work more. All right, guys. Thank you all so much. I really, really do appreciate you guys. We're going to stay on it. And if you're in South Carolina tonight, specifically, please keep an eye out for 4 little old Javia out of Aiken County. I don't think it's going to turn out good, but we're going to see. We're going to see. All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I probably will be live with Javia's case earlier than I normally am. I was live at 1 o'clock today, Eastern, which is very rare for me. But I'll probably be live anywhere from about 2 or 3, maybe 4 tomorrow. It just depends on what happens with the case and all that stuff that comes in. So, all right, guys, much love, everyone. If you have any information, 307-228-4906. You can call, leave a message, text me, call me, email me, all of that. You'll be 100% anonymous over my dead body before I'll give you up. Okay. All right, guys. Good night, everyone. God bless you. Take good care of yourselves. You only get so many trips around the sun.